let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually really looked at your kitchen cabinets? Not a quick glance while you're grabbing a coffee mug or reaching for the salt. I mean really stopped, stepped back, and looked at them in the light. If you're anything like most people, what you'd see might surprise you. That sticky, yellowish film sitting on the surface. That dark buildup around the handles where your hands touch 100 times a week. That grimy ring along the bottom edge of the cabinet doors where grease and dust have been quietly settling for months, maybe years. And no matter how often you wipe your counters down, no matter how clean you keep your stovetop, those cabinets just seem to collect it all. Here's what makes it even more frustrating. You've probably tried to deal with it before. Maybe you grabbed a wet cloth and rubbed at it, and it just smeared around. Maybe you tried one of those heavy-duty sprays from the store, the ones that smell like a chemical factory. And you scrubbed, and sure, it got a little better, but your hands were tired, your back ached, and 2 weeks later, it looked exactly the same. Maybe you've even told yourself, well, that's just what happens in an old kitchen. Some things you can't fix. But here's what nobody told you. The reason scrubbing doesn't work isn't because the grease is too stubborn, it's because you're fighting it the wrong way. Scrubbing grease with plain water or weak cleaners doesn't dissolve the buildup, it just pushes it around. And those harsh chemical sprays? They can strip the finish right off your cabinets over time, leaving them looking dull and damaged. What actually works is something completely different. Something that cuts through the grease at a chemical level, lifts it away from the surface without any aggressive scrubbing, and leaves your cabinets looking so clean and bright that you'll honestly wonder if someone replaced them while you weren't looking. And the best part? It's only 3 ingredients. You probably already have at least one of them in your house right now. Today, I'm going to walk you through this entire method, every single step. And by the time we're done, you're going to wonder how you ever cleaned your kitchen without it. So, stay with me, because the step most people skip, and the one that makes all the difference, is coming up in just a few minutes. The real problem with greasy kitchen cabinets. Before we get into the solution, let's talk about what's actually going on with those cabinets, because once you understand the problem, the solution is going to make perfect sense. Every single time you cook, whether you're frying eggs in the morning, sautéing onions for dinner, or even just boiling a pot of pasta, tiny particles of grease and moisture float up into the air. You can't see them, you can't feel them, but they're there, drifting through your kitchen, and they land on everything. Your walls, your backsplash, your range hood, and yes, your cabinets. Day after day, week after week, this invisible mist of cooking grease settles onto your cabinet doors and just sits there. And because grease is sticky by nature, it starts to trap everything else that comes along. Dust from the air, crumbs from cooking, residue from your hands every time you open a door. Over time, all of that compresses into a layer that's almost like a varnish. It's not just dirty, it's bonded to the surface. And this is exactly why wiping with a damp cloth doesn't work. Water and grease famously do not mix. You can rub all day long, and all you're really doing is moving that greasy film back and forth. You're not lifting it, you're not dissolving it, you're just spreading it around and tiring yourself out in the process. Now here's something I want you to really pay attention to, because this is where most people go wrong. When they realize a damp cloth isn't working, they reach for a stronger cleaner, something with a label full of words they can't pronounce, something that says "cuts through grease" in big bold letters. And yes, some of those products do remove grease, but many of them are also incredibly harsh enough to dull your cabinet finish, cause discoloration, or irritate your skin and lungs while you're using them. For people who are sensitive to strong chemicals or anyone with respiratory concerns, that's not a small thing. What we need is something powerful enough to actually dissolve grease, but gentle enough to be safe on your cabinet surfaces, safe for you to use, and safe for your kitchen where you prepare food every single day. That's where our 3-ingredient solution comes in. And I promise you, once you see what these 3 things can do together, you're going to keep them stocked in your cleaning cabinet permanently. What you need, the 3 ingredients. Let's talk about your 3 ingredients. These are simple, affordable, and easy to find at any grocery store or general store across the United States. No specialty shops, no online ordering, nothing complicated. The first ingredient is washing soda. Now, don't confuse this with baking soda. They sound similar, but they are very different things. Washing soda is sodium carbonate. Baking soda is sodium bicarbonate. Washing soda is significantly more alkaline, which means it is dramatically more powerful at cutting through grease and grime. You'll find it in the laundry aisle, usually in a yellow box. The most common brand is Arm & Hammer Super Washing Soda, and a box typically costs under $4 and lasts a very long time. This is the engine of our cleaning mixture. It's what actually breaks the chemical bond between the grease and your cabinet surface. The second ingredient is liquid Castile soap. If you haven't heard of Castile soap before, here's a quick explanation. It's a plant-based soap, usually made from olive oil or a blend of vegetable oils, with no synthetic detergents, no harsh chemicals, and no artificial fragrances. It's been used as a gentle but effective cleaner for centuries. You can find it at most grocery stores or pharmacies. Dr. Bronner's is the most well-known brand, and the unscented or peppermint version works perfectly for this recipe. It usually runs between $8 and $12 for a bottle, but you only use a tiny amount each time, so one bottle lasts a long time. The Castile soap acts as a surfactant, a fancy word for something that helps lift dirt and grease away from surfaces and allows it to be rinsed off cleanly. The third ingredient is hot water. That's it, just water. But the temperature matters more than most people realize. Hot water, not lukewarm, not room temperature, but genuinely hot, is critical because heat helps loosen and dissolve grease. Think about washing greasy dishes. Cold water just moves the grease around. Hot water melts it. The same principle applies here. Hot water activates the washing soda, boosts the effectiveness of the Castile soap, and helps the whole mixture penetrate the buildup on your cabinets more deeply and more quickly. 3 ingredients, that's all. And together, they create a cleaning solution that is genuinely more effective on kitchen grease than most of what you'll find on the store shelf, at a fraction of the cost, and without any of the harsh chemical concerns. Now, let's make it, and more importantly, let's use it. What else you'll need? Your supplies. Before we start mixing, let me walk you through the few simple tools you'll want to have ready. You don't need anything fancy. This is all basic household stuff. You'll need a medium-sized bowl or a bucket, something you can mix your solution in and dip a cloth into. You'll need 2 or 3 clean cloths or microfiber towels. Microfiber is ideal if you have it because it's soft, it won't scratch surfaces, and it holds solution well, but any clean cotton cloth works fine. You'll also want a small, soft bristle brush for the detailed areas. An old toothbrush works perfectly for getting into the grooves around handles and hinges. And finally, keep a dry towel nearby for the finishing step. One more thing. If your hands are sensitive, go ahead and put on a pair of rubber gloves before you start. Washing soda is safe, but it is alkaline, and for anyone with delicate or dry skin, wearing gloves just makes the whole experience more comfortable. Got everything? Good. Let's make the mixture. Step-by-step process. Step 1. Make your cleaning solution. Start by heating your water. You want it genuinely hot, the kind of hot that comes right out of your kitchen tap at its highest setting, or water that you've warmed in a kettle or pot. You don't need boiling water, but you want it comfortably hot to the touch if you're wearing gloves, or steaming if you're not. Pour 2 cups of hot water into your bowl or bucket. Next, add 1 tablespoon of washing soda. Stir it gently until it dissolves. You'll notice the water might look slightly cloudy or silky. That's exactly right. That's the washing soda doing its thing, raising the pH of the water and getting ready to go to work on that grease that's built up. Now add 1 teaspoon of Castile soap. Just 1 teaspoon. Not a tablespoon, not a squeeze straight from the bottle, a teaspoon. Castile soap is concentrated and effective in small amounts, and using too much will just create excess suds that are harder to rinse off later. Stir this in gently, and your solution is ready. That's it. 2 cups of hot water, 1 tablespoon of washing soda, 1 teaspoon of Castile soap. Easy to remember, easy to make. Step 2. Do a quick test spot. Before you go to town on all your cabinets, I want you to do one thing first. Pick a small hidden spot, the inside edge of a cabinet door or a corner that's easy to check, and apply a little of your solution there. Let it sit for about 30 seconds, then wipe it off and look at the surface. This isn't about doubting the method, it's just good common sense. Cabinets come in all different finishes: painted wood, laminate, thermofoil, stained wood, factory-coated MDF, and while this solution is safe for the vast majority of surfaces, it's always smart to check first. If you see any discoloration or the finish looks affected in that small test area, stop and use a more diluted version, just a half tablespoon of washing soda instead of a full one. For most people, the test spot will look perfectly fine, better than before actually. So take 30 seconds, check, and then move forward with confidence. Step 3. Start at the top. Here's a detail that seems small but actually matters a lot. Always start cleaning at the upper cabinets first and work your way down. Why? Because when you clean the upper cabinets, some drips and residue will fall downward. If you've already cleaned the lower cabinets, you'll just be dirtying them again. Start at the top, work your way down, and you only have to clean each section once. Dip your cloth into the solution and wring it out so it's damp, not dripping, just damp. You don't want water running down your cabinet doors. Then lay the cloth flat against the cabinet surface and let it rest there for about 15 to 20 seconds before you start wiping. This is the step most people skip, and it's the step that makes all the difference. That brief contact time allows the washing soda and Castile soap to start working on the grease at a molecular level, softening it, loosening it, breaking the grip it has on the surface. When you go to wipe after that short wait, instead of scrubbing against a hardened layer of grease, you're wiping away something that has already been loosened. It practically slides off. Wipe in long, smooth strokes. Gentle pressure. You don't need to scrub hard. If the cloth starts to look dirty, that's good news. That's the grease coming off the cabinet and onto your cloth. Rinse your cloth in the solution, wring it out again, and keep going. Step 4. Work in small sections. Don't try to do an entire wall of cabinets all at once. Work in sections, one cabinet door at a time if possible. Apply the solution, let it sit for 15 to 20 seconds, then wipe it away. Then move to the next door. This approach keeps your solution hot and effective, prevents it from drying on the surface before you wipe, and lets you give proper attention to each area. Kitchen cabinets have more surface area than you might think, especially when you factor in the sides, the bottom edges, and the areas around the hardware. Pay special attention to those areas around and beneath the handles. Handles are touched constantly, and the grease and oil from hands concentrates there over time. The bottom edges of cabinet doors also tend to have heavier buildup because that's where the grease drifts downward and settles. For these areas, use your soft brush. Dip the brush into your solution, apply it to the area around the handle or into a groove, let it sit for a moment, and then work the brush in small, gentle circles. You'll likely see a little bit of dark residue come up on the brush. That's the buildup coming loose. Wipe it away with your cloth. Step 5. The rinse step. This step is important and often overlooked. Once you've cleaned a section, go back over it with a clean cloth dampened with plain warm water. No cleaning solution, just water. This removes any residue from the washing soda or Castile soap and leaves you with a truly clean surface. Washing soda is effective precisely because it's alkaline, but leaving it on your cabinets long-term can potentially cause slight dulling over time. Rinsing it off ensures your cabinets get all the cleaning benefit with none of the residue. It takes just a moment and it makes a real difference in the final result. Step 6. Dry immediately. Right after the rinse, use your dry towel to wipe the cabinet surface completely dry. Don't leave it wet. Wood and wood-finished surfaces don't like sitting with moisture, and drying immediately also helps bring up the sheen on the surface so you can see the full result of your work. As you dry each section, take a moment to look at what's been revealed. If your cabinets have any natural grain or finish detail, you'll start to see it again. Details that have been hidden under a layer of grease for who knows how long. For many people, this is the moment where they stop and actually say out loud, "Wow!" Final results, what you're going to see. Let's talk about what you can expect when this is all done, because I want to be honest with you and give you realistic expectations, not hype, just the truth. If your cabinets had light to moderate buildup, the kind that comes from a year or two of regular cooking, the difference is going to be dramatic. We're talking a full shade or two lighter in color, bright, clean surfaces where there was once a sticky yellowed film, the detail around handles and hinges visible and clear instead of gummed up, the whole kitchen feeling noticeably cleaner and fresher, even if nothing else in the room is changed. If your cabinets had heavy, long-term buildup, the kind that's been accumulating for many years, you may need to repeat this process 2 or even 3 times on the worst areas. Don't be discouraged by that. The first pass breaks up the bulk of the grease. The second pass goes deeper. By the third pass, you're typically down to clean surface. And even after just the first application, you will see a clear and significant improvement. Here's something you may not expect. Once you've cleaned the cabinets with this solution, you may notice things you didn't see before. A small scratch, the real color of the wood, the actual sheen of the finish. That's not a bad thing. That's your cabinets being themselves again, without a film of grease masking everything. And the smell. People always mention this. Once the grease film is gone, that faint, old cooking smell that sometimes lingers around the cabinet area fades with it. Your kitchen actually smells cleaner, fresher, more like a place you love to spend time in. Maintenance tips, keeping them this way. Here's the thing about getting your cabinets this clean. You're going to want to keep them that way. And the good news is that maintenance is much easier than the deep clean you just did. Once a month, mix up a small batch of this same solution and do a quick wipe down of your cabinet doors. It takes maybe 10 or 15 minutes for the whole kitchen. Because you're catching the grease buildup before it has a chance to harden and bond to the surface, a single pass with a damp cloth is all it takes. You won't need to let it sit for as long, and you won't need to scrub at all. Just wipe, rinse, dry. Done. Pay extra attention to the cabinets immediately above and on either side of your stove. These are the highest traffic zones for airborne grease, and they'll accumulate buildup faster than cabinets on the other side of the kitchen. Making these a priority during your monthly wipe down will save you significant effort over time. You might also consider doing a light wipe of your cabinet fronts every week or two, just with a damp cloth, no cleaning solution needed, to pick up any fresh grease mist before it has a chance to set. This 30-second habit, done regularly, means your cabinets will never again get to the point where you need a heavy-duty clean. One more tip. If you have a range hood or exhaust fan above your stove, make sure you're running it every single time you cook. This is your best defense against kitchen grease accumulating on any surface, including your cabinets. The exhaust fan pulls those grease particles out of the air before they have a chance to land anywhere. Clean or replace the filter regularly so it keeps working effectively. You made it to the end, and I want to say I'm genuinely glad you did. Because this is one of those things where the hardest part really is just getting started. Once you have that bowl of solution mixed up and you do your first cabinet door and you see that cloth coming away dark with grease that used to be invisible on your cabinet surface, that's the moment. That's when you realize this works and you'll want to do every single cabinet in the kitchen before you put the cloth down. This method isn't complicated. It isn't expensive. It doesn't require any special equipment or physical effort. It's just 3 humble, simple ingredients working together the way chemistry is supposed to work, smartly, efficiently, and gently. Washing soda breaks down the grease, Castile soap lifts it away, hot water activates everything and makes the whole process faster and easier. That's it. No mystery, no gimmick. And this is something you can do entirely on your own, at your own pace, in your own kitchen. You don't need help. You don't need to hire anyone. You don't need to wait for a special occasion to decide your kitchen deserves to look clean and beautiful. It deserves that right now, today, with what you already have or can pick up at the grocery store for less than the cost of a cup of coffee. So here's what I want you to do. Next time you're at the store, grab a box of Arm & Hammer Super Washing Soda and a bottle of Castile soap if you don't have them yet. Put them somewhere easy to find. And then pick a morning when you have a little time and a little energy, you don't even need a lot, and give this a try. Start with just one cabinet door. Just one. See what happens. I think you're going to surprise yourself. And when you do, when you step back and look at what used to be yellowed and sticky and now looks fresh and clean and almost new, I want to hear about it. Scroll down and leave me a comment. Tell me how it went. Tell me which cabinets gave you the most trouble, or which ones cleaned up the best, or what your kitchen smells like now. I read every comment, and there is nothing better than hearing from someone who tried something from this channel and it actually worked for them. If this video helped you today, please consider giving it a thumbs up. It helps more people just like you find this channel and discover these kinds of simple, practical solutions. And if you'd like to see more cleaning tips like this one, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Coming up next, I'm going to show you how to tackle something that baffles a lot of people: the greasy film that builds up on kitchen walls, especially near the stove. Same idea, slightly different approach, and equally satisfying results. You're not going to want to miss it. Thank you so much for watching. Now go find that washing soda and go make your kitchen look the way it deserves to look.